Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another BJ&Co How to Play board game video. Today we're taking a look at Lanterns, the Harvest Festival. This is a nice little tile laying game for 2 to 4 players. It takes about half an hour to play, and was designed by Christopher Cheung and produced by Foxtrot Games and Renegade Game Studio. In this game, we'll be artisans, placing all these paper lanterns on a lake. And in doing so, we're going to be earning the honor for having the most beautiful displays and hopefully coming away as the best artisan out of the group. If you guys have been finding these how to play board game videos helpful, consider leaving a like down below. If you want some clarification on rules, feel free to leave a comment. We're always happy to chat with our audience. And if you want to get notified when all these new videos go live, consider hitting the subscribe button down below, and the little bell notification right beside it will allow you to ensure that you do get notified when every video is released. But let's dive on into it. All right, so let's get everything set up. The first thing we want to do is we want to find this start lake tile. Okay, let's get everything set up. The first thing we want to do is find the lake tile with the boat on it. This is the starting tile. We want to randomly set it up on the table, spin it around a little bit so we don't know which color's where, and then flip it over so that the each side is facing a different player. We're going to imagine there's 4 players here. If you're playing with less, you want to ensure that the red side is facing somebody. That's who is going to be the start player. Next, we need to set up our lantern cards. So these are the lantern cards we'll be collecting throughout the game. There is 8 of each in the box. If you're playing with all 4 players, just split the colors up so that there's a stack of each color. If you're playing with 3 players, just take 1 off of each so there's only 7 in each stack. And if you're playing with 2 players, you want to take 3 out so that there's only 5 in the stack. And that's just to limit so that one person can't go gung-ho on one color. Next, we want to get our lake tiles ready to go. These all look similar to the starting tile that we had. Some of them have some platforms on them, some of them are normal. And set them aside, shuffle them up. We need all of them if we're playing with 4 players, but if we're playing with less, so if we're playing with 3, we only need 27, so take 5 out. And if you're playing with 2 players, you only need 22, so take 10 out. Once you've got them all shuffled up, you're going to deal out 3 lake tiles to every single person that's playing the game. And these are the starting hand for each of these players. I guess I'll keep those out of the way. The starting hand for each of these players, and they have different combinations of the platforms and the colors and the lanterns and everything there. We next want to set up our dedication stuff. So we're going to keep these generic 4s off to the side by themselves. And then with the rest of the dedication tokens, we want to grab all of the same color and put them together. And you want to order them so that the lowest number is on the bottom to the highest number on the top. So this one runs from 4 to 10. This one here runs from 5 to 10, or 4 to 8, 5 to 10, and 5 to 9 here. If you're playing with less than 4 players, you want to look at these tiles and pull out the ones that have red numbers on them. So this one here is only if you're playing a 4-player game. And this one here is if you're playing a 3 or a 4-player game. So if you're playing with 3 players, take all the 4s out. If you're playing with 2 players, take the 3s and the 4s out. And then just, again, make sure they're stacked in the right order. And this is because as you dedicate, the first person to get to it gets more points than the people that come later to those dedications. So now that we have that all set up, the last thing we need to do is we need to give out a lantern card corresponding to each player based on where this starts out. So I, being this first player, will get the red. White will go over to this side. We'll get a black down in the front here. And we'll get a blue over on this side here. We do have the cards here that are reference cards if you want to pass those out. The one side shows the different dedication actions that we can do, which we'll talk about later. And the other side talks about the 3 different actions that you can do on your turn. So it's very handy, easy to have. Not necessary if you play the game quite a bit, but they're good to have. And now the last thing, we get things going. And the person that has the red lantern in front of them is the one that gets to go first because that is the color of good fortune. So now let's talk about your turns. So there's 3 things you can do on your turn as outlined in the turn sequence side of the reference card. There's kind of 2 optional actions at the top and then a third non-optional action that you have to do every turn, which is placing the tiles. The order is also important. You have to exchange before you dedicate, before you place a tile. But we're going to talk about placing a tile first because that is the one thing that you will do on every turn. All placing a tile is taking one of your tiles and placing it somewhere on the board. It must be adjacent to another tile that's already down, but there is no restrictions. Colors don't have to line up, absolutely nothing like that. However, it's beneficial for you to line up the colors. The reason for that is you will be getting lanterns when it's placed. So, say I place this one. The first thing we look for is any color matches. There's no color matches, so we don't have to worry about a thing like that. Then what we do is we go around and each player, starting with the player that placed it, takes the corresponding color. So black is facing me, I would take a black. Purple, 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 all the way around. So that's how the basics of placing a tile go. Once you've placed a tile, you draw up another tile and put it into your hand. Now, if you are placing a tile color match wise, so we'll pretend I'm just placing a different tile. If I place this down here, I would get black because it's facing me. But before we deal out any of the directional stuff, we look and see, is there a color match? And there is a color match. So I would get a white, I would get a black for the direction it's facing, and then this person would get white, this person would get black, and this person would get white over here. So color match can be very important. It can also work out in beneficial ways where if you place like this, I'm matching both purple and black. So I would get a purple, a black, and a blue on this turn because I've got two color matches and the one facing my direction. So you want to be looking for color matches as much as possible. The last thing with placing a tile is if you place a tile and in the color match, there is a platform. You get one favor token, which we'll be needing for other actions, per platform that's in this tile. So if, let's see if we can find something a bit better. I don't know if I can. It's always, where's my platforms? I don't want my platforms. So let's pretend we have this. Well, this is actually perfect. So if, to deal with the favor tokens, we were placing this one down here. It's a color match. There's a platform. There's a platform. So we get two favor tokens for placing that one, along with the black for the color match and the black for it facing in my direction. Let's see if there's anything else I can do here. Blue and black. Let's go this way. If we get to the fun ones where we've got two platforms down and we place this. We've got a color match this direction, a color match this direction. We would get one for each platform. The middle one, even though it's in two color matches, does not duplicate itself. So that's how placing a tile goes. Place the tile, look for color matches, look at platforms, look at what's facing your direction. And that's the nice thing is as you go around, everybody is getting more and more lantern tiles as even when their opponents are playing things. So you want to balance out what you're giving yourself, but also what you're giving your opponents, because you don't want to be giving them what they're looking for. The big thing to note is that if you go to give somebody a lantern tile and it's not there, they don't get it. That's it. Done. Nothing. Nada. 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 So you can plan that out and actually hamstring people by ensuring that they are getting given lanterns that are not available in the pile right now. So just nice little tip there to help you out. And it always goes, the color matches get given out first, then starting at the start player, what is facing them. So if I said if there was only one black left and I played this guy down, right, I would get the first black and this player over here would get nothing because there's none left in the pile. So that's how placing a tile goes. And that's basically the only thing you'll be doing on your first turn. But on later turns, there's two other things that we can do. The first thing is you can spend some of your favor. It's called the exchange. And with two favor tokens, you take one color that you have and you exchange it for whatever other color you want. And then those two favor tokens go back into the supply. So that's relatively straightforward. It's an easy way, once you have favor tokens, to change up some colors and work towards part two, which is dedications. And dedications are probably the most important piece of the game because of the fact that this is the only way that you're getting points. And what a dedication is turning in the cards that you have in front of you in the correct combinations so that you can collect some of these down here. Now, the 3 different dedications that we have, the red one here is 4 of a kind. So if you have 4 of the exact same color in your hand, and the lantern cards are always visible to everybody. So you can always see, you can't keep them hidden. They are visible to everybody. So if this was my turn, I've got 4 black. I can turn these in, make a dedication, and keep this in front of me. I've now secured 8 points for my self, and hopefully that will help me work towards victory. If you start your turn with more than 12 cards, you must make a dedication on your turn until you have less than 12. I don't think there's ever going to be a place where I guess you probably could if somebody was really nice to you. No, I don't think there's a way you could really. You might be able to do it that you have to do 2 dedications, but it's very rare that I've seen that. The other 2 dedications that we have here this is one of all 7 colors, right? So purple, black, orange, blue, white, green, red. And then the last is 2 or 3 2 of a kind. So, 2 purple, 2 white, 2 red. This would be the turn that we'd have to do there in order to get the points from down there. If at any point in time you want to do a dedication, but say the person in front of you has just dedicated the last 4 of a kind, you can still make the dedication, but you only get 4 points for dedication. So there's 3 tiles here to show that. If things go even further than that, you still get 4 points. You just have to track it onto the side because they don't have any more tokens in there. So those are the 3 actions you can do: the exchange, the dedication. Both of those right here are optional. You do not have to do them every turn, but the placing a tile is a must every turn. And the game continues. Place a tile. Once you've placed your tile, you draw a new one, so that you always have 3 in your hand until once the stack runs out. Everybody just continues placing tiles until they have ran out of tiles in their hand. Once the last player's tile has been placed, everybody gets 1 additional turn around the table so that they can do the exchange and dedication and try to get those last minute points. So as the game progresses, everybody's going to get different dedication tokens, right? They're going to pick some stuff up. And at the end of the game, you take a look and you see, once the game's done, once everybody's had that last turn, you look and you just count up the points that you have in your hand, which here, we'd have a big whopping 20 here, 17 down here, 15 down there, and 18 down there. So first place would be up here with the 20. Convenient how I win, eh? If you get to a point where there is a tie for points, and then the next thing that you look at is how many favor tokens do those 2 players have. Whoever has the most will be the winner at that point. If they have the same number of favor tokens, then you look at how many lanterns are left in their hand, and whoever's got the most wins. If it's a tie after all that stuff, there's nothing else to look at. It's just a shared victory. So congratulations. Impressive to pull off if you're able to do it. So that's how to play Lanterns the Harvest Festival. We hope that you did find this helpful, and if you did, let us know by hitting that like button down below. If you've got some questions about the rules or want some clarification, throw a comment down. We love chatting with all you guys. And if you want to get notified when all the new content goes live, hit that subscribe button so you can ensure you do get notified. If you want to join the community more as a whole, check out all the links in the description down below. We've got a Discord channel, we've got a Facebook page, we've got a Patreon going on. We'd love to see you in any of those. So that's it for this one. Thank you very much for joining us, and we hope you see you in the next one. Bye!